We all need at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night. People are slightly different, but generally we need those 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night in order to function properly. And very few people are consistently getting that, and it's leading to all sorts of problems with concentration, job performance, obesity, high blood pressure, and stress as well. When people are sleep deprived, it tends to lead to overeating because people will eat to try to stay awake and to just combat that fatigue that we all have. And that then leads to sleep apnea in many cases, which worsens sleep again, so it becomes a secondary health problem. Concentration and mental focus and ability to deal with stress are well known to be affected by a lack of sleep. What I like to talk about is sleep hygiene. And people hear that and they think, what is sleep hygiene? Sleep hygiene are these very basic things that most people aren't doing that help us get a good night's rest. The first and foremost thing is that people should attempt to go to bed and get up in the morning roughly at the same time each day. And if you think about that, many people are getting up very early during the week to go to work and then staying up late getting work done, but then on the weekends they'll sleep in 2-3 hours longer, for example. That actually upsets our biological clock and makes it more difficult to fall asleep when we want to, and then conversely to wake up when we want to. So going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, and it doesn't mean within 5 minutes, but roughly within an hour. Then the second thing to do that's a big problem in our modern world is trying to avoid screens. And I say screens because it's not what you're watching or what you're doing, it's the light itself. We make melatonin when we are getting ready to go to sleep. Melatonin production is stimulated by dark. So when we're looking at a screen, sitting with a computer or a phone or a television in front of us, it's suppressing our melatonin production. We then turn off the television and want to be able to fall asleep, but we haven't actually allowed our body to prepare for sleep properly, so that's an issue. People who wake up in the middle of the night, for example, wake up and most of the time the first thing they do is check their clock, check their phone to look and see what time it is. That's the worst thing people can do. As soon as you've looked at that clock or you've seen the time, people's first reaction is, oh my gosh, I only have another 5 hours to sleep. I'm not going to be able to get enough rest tonight. And that increases stress, which blocks melatonin, which makes it that much harder to go back to sleep. So it's a whole cycle that we get into when we don't, when we look at a clock. Keep the lights low, use a night light, don't flip the bright lights on overhead, and don't go get a snack. Eating and filling up our stomachs actually stimulates us to be awake again. So you want to keep things as mild and as non-stimulating as possible when you're trying to get a good night's rest.
My Healthy Decisions, brought to you by Bassett Healthcare Network. Visit us online or call 1-800-BASSETT.